What's going on, guys? It's Austin with the Semi-Saucin' YouTube channel. If you excuse me, I was craving a Frosty from Wendy's, so not sponsored or anything like that. I just I really wanted to get a Frosty, and I didn't make a video last week, so I really wanted to just kind of take this time to go over last week and this week with my mentor. Like I said, this week and last week is going to be kind of a transition in the way I do my videos, because I'm no longer reviewing the academy. I'm reviewing the transportation, the actual business, the job of it. So far, it's off and on. It's off and on. There's a lot of hit miss. There's a lot of pros and cons. To start, there's been a lack of communication. I think I kind of told you guys that, like, I was supposed to go into Top Gun, and then I was pulled from Top Gun, and I didn't really care because it only takes a week off after everything is said and done. It really shaves like a week off. So, but you know, that was kind of shady. I have talked to my instructors, and they were like, yeah, you were definitely supposed to go. They kind of I think they saw my scores, and they kind of wanted me out on the road faster, and the wait list for Top Gun was 2 weeks out. So going with the mentor, I'd be on the road faster. But I got the call on Friday or whatever, Saturday, and they said, hey, you got to go with your mentor on Monday. We'll get in touch with you. We'll give them all your info. Okay, cool. No big deal. No problem. I'm not going to argue. I don't want anything to go wrong with my tuition or anything. And so Monday comes along. Have not heard from these people at all. Haven't heard from anybody. And I was supposed to get in touch with him this weekend to meet with him Monday morning. And so I'm like, I don't care. I don't know who my mentor is. Like, I don't know if I just want to show up or whatever. So I'm calling the person that called me from driver qualifications, not answering. I called her 3 times, and I'm like, okay. And I pretty much told my wife, like, look, if they haven't called me by like 3 in the afternoon, I'm going to go. I'm going to go down there, and I'm going to go talk to them, because this is the part where I'm starting to get paid. And so I don't want there to be a gap in pay because they're dropping the ball in communication. So like 2:30 rolls around, and I'm like literally about to roll out of bed and get dressed. I finally get a text from a different guy from driver qualifications, and he's like, hey, we got a mentor for you. Here's his info. Get in touch with him. I'm like, all right, no big deal. I text him, doesn't answer. So I call at like 6. I kind of told my wife, like, look, it's like 6, 7 o'clock. If he hasn't texted me, I'm calling. You know, I don't want to be annoying, but like, I need to be, like, my biggest pet peeve is lack of communication. I think I said it in my last video. Like, you guys need to tell me what's going on. If I don't know what's going on because somebody isn't telling me, I don't like it. It's a big pet peeve of mine. I don't like it at all. And so I call him, he answers, hey man, yeah, set me up, let's set up tomorrow at noon. Let's meet at the terminal, at the Jake break at the Swift Academy, or the Swift Terminal. I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. He calls me at like 9 in the morning on Tuesday. He's like, hey, like, we don't have a load, so why don't we just meet tomorrow, Wednesday, at like 8 in the morning? And I'm like, no big deal. I'll meet you on Wednesday, 8 in the morning. Got it. Quick Wendy's break. And so Wednesday comes around. We have a load to New Mexico. We fuel up and we go. It was cool. Wednesday and Thursday were cool. We went out to New Mexico. It's a day there, day back, as far as like your drive time goes. We could have started heading back Monday, but it was just, we stayed at the terminal, and we kind of got, just kind of relaxed a little bit. The actual spot that we were supposed to drop the trailer at was like super complex. There was like shipping containers that were blocking the left side, and it was like you had to like snake it in like through an intersection. And there was an open spot on the right, which would have been super fucking easy to get in. And then there was a spot on the far left with a trailer in the middle that was kind of tight. And they like wanted it in that spot, like wouldn't let us put it in the other spot. So he parked it. I didn't get to do the back because he was like, I don't want you doing this one. This one's tricky. And he got it in. It took us an hour and a half to get the trailer in with me guiding him. And so we get home. We had a load to Vegas for Friday. But I had kind of told them, like, hey, I want the weekends off. You know what I mean? I think the guarantee for like your guaranteed pay is for like 5 days of work. It's a flat rate, $800 a week. And then once you go solo, you're guaranteed $1,000 a week if you're available 5 days a week. So I'm just kind of taking that as like a, okay, if the 1,000 is guaranteed for 5 days of work solo, as your training, I'm assuming it's 5 days. So I wanted to make sure I'm available, but also my wife works on the weekends and she doesn't want to quit her job yet. So I want to let her work. And so I want to make sure that I'm home in time to watch the kids. And I told him, hey man, I got to be on the weekends. Like, if we're going to have issues with that, then I'm just going to stay home. Okay, no problem. So I stayed home. He went and did Vegas by himself. And then he came back. And Monday we went to El Paso. So I went to El Paso Monday, came back Tuesday. El Paso was cool. You know, I've heard a lot of people that talk about El Paso as like a sketchy area. I didn't have any issues. Like, yes, you can see Mexico. Like, you could see the border right there. I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a real nice place. I didn't have any issues. There's a place out there called Taco Tote. And all over the posters you see, it's like the best tacos in El Paso. And I really wanted to try food there. My big thing is I like trying food that isn't in Arizona when I'm out. Like, anytime I take a vacation or wherever, I kind of like to, like, it's like a rule of mine. I like to do, like, I don't eat at like In-N-Out or Jersey Mike's or Jimmy John. Anywhere I can eat out here, I don't eat there. I try to eat to the places that are only in those areas. So I really wanted to try it. But by the time an hour and a half went by to park that trailer, they were closed. And so I was like, ugh. So I got Taco Bell. But, so El Paso was cool. No real complaints about El Paso. And then the next, we went Utah. We went to South Jordan, Utah for the next load we did, which was 2 days, day there, day back. Lots of grade up there, lots of different like steep hills and mountains and stuff. For somebody that's new, it might make you a little nervous. I was definitely a little nervous, I can't lie. But, they teach you how to drive the trucks and use the brakes properly to where you're not, losing control of the vehicle. And then I came home Thursday. Oh, technically I came home Friday morning. We had a load to New Mexico Friday, and my mentor asked me while we were in Utah, when we got the load, he was like, do you want to go? He's like, and I was like, I don't know if we'll make it back by Saturday afternoon. My wife leaves for work at like 2-3 o'clock. I'm like, I have to be home at like 11. And he, we kind of talked, and the way we said it was the only way that I would make it is if we team drove. You know what I mean? He drives 11 to get back. That would be Friday at like 2 in the morning. I would drive my 11 hours and get there at like 10 in the afternoon Monday morning, and then he would drive back, and we would be back by like midnight, like at the latest, like 10-11 o'clock Friday night. And I was like, okay, like, we'll try it. Like, I haven't team drove yet, because you're not supposed to team drive until you've logged 50 hours of drive time. But like, coming back from Utah, in my head, the way that I had planned it was that I would drive home, and by the time I drove home, I would have enough. I was sitting at like 43 hours. So by the time I got back from Utah, I would be at 50 hours, and then he could go to New Mexico and I would drive back. For some reason, he wanted to drive out there, so I didn't even have the amount of hours needed to team drive yet. Pause. But anyways, he drives out there. I realized very quickly that I wasn't comfortable with the way he was driving up and down the grades, and I didn't sleep. 0 hours of sleep on Thursday. We didn't leave until like 4 in the afternoon, so we were projected to get back at like 4 in the morning. And his 11 hours ran out at like 2. So I had 2 hours to drive at 2 in the morning to 4. And I got no sleep at all. So I'm fucking tired. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? I was like 30 minutes out of Flagstaff. So like, I wasn't far. I was like an hour and a half when his time ran out. So I made the drive. It's a very easy drive. The hills in Flagstaff can get tricky. if you're new. But I got back, had a hard time parking it because the trailers that I was parking to at the Walmart distribution center were kind of like this, kind of crooked, and I had to go in that way. And I tried it a couple times and it didn't work, and so my mentor ended up doing it, and we ended up sleeping at a gas station so that we could just fuel up and go to New Mexico. We tried to pick up the trailer early because sometimes they will do that. If it's ready, they'll give it to you, but it wasn't, and so we would have to come back at. Here's where I started to realize that it was going to be a problem. Is it wasn't ready until like 10:45. So we were not allowed to leave until 10:45 at the earliest. Neither of us have gotten sleep. He realistically got like 2 hours of sleep, and then I needed help parking. And so we're both running on no sleep. And he obviously would have slept going out to Albuquerque. But I started doing the math in my head, and I was like, and I told him, I was like, look, man, I don't think we're going to make it. I don't. He's like, oh, I think we'll make it. And here's the thing about mentors and stuff. I understand the way business works, and I understand the way that their pay works. They get paid based off of the driver's miles. And so it benefits them to team drive because they get paid. We're getting paid a flat rate. So if we're team driving and we're doing, even if we're taking our time and we're doing 3,500 to 4,000, even 4,500 miles a week, he's banking on that. He's making all of that. That's more than what he would do solo. So that's their incentive. And I'm sure they get a rate after, I think, for like a couple months after we're done too. But like, it's just, stuff like that is like, I understand that it benefits you, but I got no sleep. And so Swift preaches safety. And so I was like, hey man, I don't think it's a safe move. I don't feel comfortable driving. You know what I mean? And he was like, oh, we'll just try to get some sleep, blah, 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 blah. By the time we got to the gas station and we were winding down, it was like 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'm like, bro, it's 6:37. Like, I'm going to sleep for 3 hours, and then it's time for me to go get this fucking trailer. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to take the weekend. And, and I think that I might have screwed him in a way, because I saw a lot of like messages come in that he had missed the loading call and that he was not sending my macros and stuff. And so I think that, he didn't get a lot of sleep either. And so I might have kind of screwed the pooch with him, and I might have made him late and stuff, which I do apologize for. But at the end of the day, like, it's my safety. Like, we shouldn't have been team driving yet anyways. It was something that I suggested, you know what I mean? If you really wanted me to go with you, this is how we're going to do it. You know what I mean? This is how we would do it. And it just didn't work. I wasn't comfortable. Maybe it's because I'm not comfortable with him as a driver. He's comfortable with the truck. You know what I mean? So he pushes speeds down the hills that I'm not necessarily comfortable with. You know what I mean? And that's all stuff that like I would probably get used to later down the road, especially because I do have a teammate that's in training right now. So once I'm out and he's out, we'll be team driving. So it's kind of like you got to get used to it anyways, Austin. Like, you're going to be doing it. But I think there's ways to team drive and still sleep for 10 hours semi-efficiently. It might not be as efficient as a team can run, but you can still do it and still get like 9 hours a day, 8 hours a day. But I guess that's the recap of how the week and a half went, where we went and what happened. Okay, so now we're going to get into the pros and the cons of driving with this guy and him as a mentor and all that. So I learned very quickly, very, very quickly, that he was a brand new mentor and that I was his first student. I learned that because there were certain things that just the way that he would try to teach, you could tell that this person didn't know how to teach. He knew what he was doing, but he didn't know how to teach it. And I go from an instructor of 29 years in the academy who can tell you literally what to do with the steering wheel, and he'll tell you before it happens what the trailer will do. And he can get you out of any scenario that you get stuck in because he knows the trailer and the truck so well. Whereas this guy, like, I get stuck and he doesn't know how to get me out of it. You know what I mean? He doesn't know how to get me to get the trailer where he wants it. He tells me where he wants the trailer, but he can't tell me how to get there. Whereas, like, I had an instructor previously that could. And so I could just tell there was a difference in experience. And then he speaks Spanish, and he told somebody on the phone that I was his first student. So I understand Spanish. And I heard him say it, and so I know I didn't call him out on it because I don't want him to feel like insecure because I'm his first student, and like I don't want him to think that I judge him because I'm his first student. I don't. Like, everybody's got to start somewhere, but obviously with a job this dangerous, would I prefer somebody that has more experience as my mentor? Absolutely. It would make me a lot better. It'd make me a lot more comfortable because they know what I need to know, like the very important stuff that I need to know, what stuff is okay for me to learn on my own and stuff. Whereas this guy has no idea. This guy has no idea what I need to know. And like what the like crucial stuff for me to know is. He has no clue. We're both playing it by ear. And it's the craziest thing because you understand, you'll realize when you're out there with somebody that doesn't know what they're doing that like they don't know what they're doing. You understand that like we're both learning at the same time, and it's like you're supposed to be teaching me, but you're like also learning with me, and it's discomforting because they're supposed to be teaching me. So if my education is in your hands and you're still learning, I'm fucked. You know what I mean? And so, you know, ideally I would like to test out early. The way that it goes is you're supposed to get 200 hours of drive time with a mentor before you test out. I've already been told by a bunch of people that that's bullshit. As soon as you feel ready, you can test out. So when you go through Top Gun, it cuts your time in half and you only need 100 hours to test out, which is 2 weeks. I've done a week and a half, so I'm probably gonna call my driver leader next week and just see if I can test out at the end of next week. I'll be right at or right under 200 miles. Another conversation I need to have with my mentor is that I don't feel comfortable driving as a team. And I understand that pays them more money, which is like the incentive to like be a mentor is that money. But if he has an issue with it, I can go with another mentor that's okay with me not team driving. You know what I mean? I'm just not, I can't get any sleep. So if we team drive and I'm not comfortable and I'm not getting any sleep, it's counterproductive to me because every single time I'm up to drive, I can only drive one way and then I have to like sleep. So it's like, you know what I mean? I'm going to drive and then he's going to drive and then I'm not going to be able to drive because I'm on zero sleep. So we're going to have to stop. You know what I mean? So we're going to have to sleep for 10 hours anyways. So I'm going to get essentially half the drive time that I normally would because I'm going to drive one way and then he's going to drive back. And then we're going to have to sleep because I haven't gotten any sleep. And then and then I'm going to drive and then he's going to drive and then we're going to have to stop and sleep. Whereas like team driving, you're kind of supposed to keep the truck rolling. It's like super counterproductive. Like I'm going to get half the miles driven. You know what I mean? It's going to slow my process down. And so if he has an issue with it, I'll talk with driver qualifications. You know, no disrespect. You know what I mean? I'll go with them and I'll go with somebody who's okay with me not team driving. I understand that that's how you guys make more money. But as a safety thing, I'm not driving with zero sleep. I won't. I will not get behind the wheel of the truck with zero sleep. I won't. I have too much to lose. I have too many people that are waiting for me at home to do something as stupid as drive with no sleep. So if he's not okay with that, then I'll find a mentor who is. Because I don't have much time left anyways. You know what I mean? A week or two, maybe. You know, 2.5 weeks at the max, because technically it was a half a week last week. But the only thing I need to work on is backing. And as far as backing is concerned, it's, like I said, it's hard for him to explain what he wants me to do. The 45 degree and the 90 degree back are the main backs that I feel like you're gonna have to do as a driver, you know, running dedicated accounts. And they don't teach you that in the academy. At least they didn't teach me. I was supposed to learn it in Top Gun, and I was kind of tricked out of Top Gun. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm learning as I go. I have the basic idea of how the 45 and the 90 degree work. It's just, you know, it's not an excuse, but most of the scenarios that I'm presented with is, you know, very crooked trailers, and it's kind of an uneven squeeze, and then once I get to a position where I'm like, I might touch something, so I don't know if I want to straighten out or not, he kind of gets out and kind of judges for me, and then for whatever reason, whatever he decides for me to do, it ends up like completely fucking up my process. And so me and him have a hard time communicating what we want from each other when it comes to backing. And it gets very frustrating on both of us. I can see he's frustrated and I can tell I'm frustrated. And it's because he's new. So here's the thing is, the way that I see it is if I'm practically teaching myself backing on my own, because what he's teaching me isn't working, and I'm good with everything else, then I should just test out. I'll be solo for like a week or two, and then my buddy will be out, and then we'll team drive, and I'll just have somebody, if I'm having trouble with a 45 and I can't get in, I'll have a buddy guide me. It's what he's doing right now, but he's not doing the best job at guiding me. So, you know what I mean? He's trying to get me to like perfectly line it up, and I'm like, bro, just tell me if I'm hitting something, like, because I can get it in. Let me get it in, and then I can pull up and adjust and stuff, but he like won't even let me get that far. The way he does it is just different, and I get that works for him. That's totally fine. No disrespect. You know what I mean? I've seen him park some crazy shit already, and he's good. But I don't need to be there at your level yet. You know what I mean? Let me just get it in, because what the problem is, he wants me to do it a certain way, and I can't get it in, and then he just does it. So I don't get the experience of getting it in. I've only done 2 45s, and it's been 2 weeks, because every time that I get stuck and I can't get out, he does it for me. And it's like, I'm not learning anything that way. So that's like the number one issue we have right now, is that, you know, we're having a hard time coordinating backing, and I can't sleep with him driving. And so I don't know what this next week entails for us. You know what I mean? I might be with a new driver leader next week, or a new mentor. I don't know. But I'm not going to sacrifice my safety to pad his paycheck. I won't. You know what I mean? I won't do it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The next video I'll try to do on time. You know, I just didn't feel like making a video about 2 days of driving, so I wanted to put it all together and do one video. It's a little bit longer, but it wraps up the 2 days from last week and this week. Other than that, it's been great, man. I'm still learning, you know. I'm still going with the process. I'm seeing a lot of cities that I've never seen before. It's a cool process, and it's very reassuring knowing that I got a buddy that's going to be in my truck shortly after I upgrade. So yeah, I'm going to be talking to driver qualifications, seeing if I can't test out a little early. So we'll have a video on that, and then the big truck reveal, obviously, when I test out Solo Dolo and see what they give me. But yeah, other than that, you know, that's pretty much all caught up. You know, next video will be out next week, and that's about it. Be sure to like and subscribe, and if you guys are going through, you know, CDL Academy and you have questions, or if you have questions about how to get started, leave it in the comments below, and I'll try to be as interactive with you guys as I can. All right, love, peace, chicken grease. Have a great weekend.